The Trump administration is reportedly planning to expand the existing travel ban to include citizens from 36 additional countries, citing threats related to terrorism and anti-American activity. The specific countries have not been disclosed, but the move has drawn criticism from civil rights organizations, who warn it could lead to discriminatory policies. Supporters argue it's a necessary measure to protect national security amid rising global instability. Minnesota police have arrested Vance Bolter, the prime suspect in the killing of a Democratic state representative Melissa Hortman and her husband. Bolter is also accused of attempting to murder State Senator John Hoffman and his wife in a politically motivated attack. He allegedly used a fake police vehicle to carry out the ambush and now faces multiple felony charges. New financial disclosures have sparked fresh controversy around President Trump, revealing over $600 million in income from business operations including golf clubs, cryptocurrency ventures, and deals involving Qatar. Critics argue these connections present serious conflicts of interest and demand independent oversight. UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk urged U.S. authorities to respect the right to peaceful protest and refrain from deploying military forces to control demonstrations. His appeal, made during a Human Rights Council session in Geneva, came after reports that President Trump dispatched U.S. Marines to Los Angeles to confront anti-Trump protesters, a move that drew significant international criticism. Bill Maher was on his podcast Club Random this morning, where he had a heated discussion with Sheen Penn about Maher's April dinner with President Trump. Tensions flared when Penn questioned why Maher sat down with Trump. Maher defended his choice, saying the dinner was about direct dialogue, not support, and challenged Penn's reluctance to meet Trump. Senator John Fetterman is facing backlash from fellow Democrats after posting a sharp condemnation of recent violent protests in Los Angeles, which he described as anarchy. The criticism intensified after he was seen dining at a Washington, D.C. restaurant popular among Trump supporters, where he reportedly crossed paths with Steve Bannon. While Fetterman's office insists the encounter was unplanned and his post was aimed solely at condemning violence, some Democrats have accused him of aligning too closely with conservative figures. Senate John Thune has emphasized that the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, a sweeping Republican tax and spending package championed by President Trump, is a top priority. Thune stated that he is prepared to stay in session through the 4th of July holiday if necessary to push the bill through. He called the legislation pro-growth and claimed it would lead to the largest spending reduction in history, even as it seeks to extend major Trump-era tax cuts and reduce Medicaid and other federal spending. G7 leaders are meeting in Kananaskis, Canada, under the shadow of worsening geopolitical tensions. Key topics include the Israel-Iran conflict, Trump's aggressive trade measures, and challenges in reaching policy consensus. European nations have expressed concerns over the U.S. position on climate, trade, and Middle East policy. Tensions between Israel and Iran have sharply escalated. Israel conducted airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, prompting Iran to retaliate with missile and drone strikes on Tel Aviv. The U.S. has publicly backed Israel's actions, warning Tehran of further consequences. Regional stability remains at high risk as civilian casualties mount. U.S. stock markets showed optimism ahead of a key Federal Reserve decision, with futures rising and Bitcoin hitting $107,000. Investors are expecting interest rates to remain stable despite international tensions. Oil prices dipped slightly, and safe haven assets like gold remained steady. Singer Neza made headlines by performing the U.S. national anthem in Spanish at a Dodgers game, in a gesture of solidarity with immigrant communities. The protest received mixed reactions but sparked widespread discussion on inclusion and cultural identity in public spaces. J.J. Spaun won his first major championship at the U.S. Open held at Oakmont, overcoming a shaky start to seal the victory with a dramatic long-range putt. His emotional win capped off a tense and rainy tournament, elevating his status on the global golf stage. Wyatt Hendrickson, a standout wrestler from Newton, Kansas, officially earned his place on Team USA for the upcoming World Championships. His qualification strengthens the U.S. Paralympic wrestling team and boosts national expectations ahead of the Games. Severe storms have caused widespread flooding in West Virginia, prompting emergency declarations and rescue efforts. Roads have been washed out and homes damaged across multiple counties. Officials warn that more rain is expected and residents are advised to evacuate if needed.